Well, folks, first off, it's extremely windy, so hopefully the sound is still okay. It's leaving today. I think I've had this for 3 years now, a little over 3 years. It's been a great rig, no issues with it whatsoever. Basically with these things, you just put fuel in them, change the oil, and away you go. I think I put a set of brake pads on this at one point, but very nice vehicle. This one being in Canada does have the dual climate control. I know a lot of people mentioned that when I first bought this. It's got the sunroof, a TRD Off-road package, crawl control, you know, all that stuff. Hey buddy. Lots of room for the dogs and all that. The only thing we find about this vehicle, especially me, is when Bauer is in the back seat, I find this vehicle quite cramped for me, and especially where this doesn't have power seats to put them down, I find it quite cramped. Because if I put the seat where I want it, where I'm comfortable, he's kicking it all the time. Buddy, don't kick the seat, okay? Thank you. You know, even that, like even where that is sitting, I find it cramped. So that's the main reason. And then of course where I'm sitting, this is in the back, and I mean it's not terrible. There is still room, but I do find it a bit cramped in here. And then you got the hump for the sunroof, like my head. Got this groove here, thankfully, for my head, but I find it a bit small. We definitely will miss the back space for the dogs, but we'll work our way around that. So the truck, I'll call it a truck because it is body on frame, so it is basically a truck. The truck has 77,000 kilometers on it, and it's been pretty much flawless. There's a couple little spots where there's like a surface rust bubble coming through, but other than that, no issues with it whatsoever. The previous vehicle before this one was this is a 2020. The previous vehicle before this one was a 2018 or 2019 4RUNNER Limited, and we traded it in for this one with plans of, you know, taking this back to our camp. I wanted the TRD Off-road for that. It's got a bit more clearance than the Limited, and also it's white, so that if we were going back there and we happened to scuff up against any tree branches or anything, it wouldn't show the scratches near as much as what the other one did. But since then, we've moved and we're in a new spot. We don't really get to the camp much, to be honest. Right now we're just extremely busy, and when I do go, it's pretty much just me and my father, and we take one of the trucks. But the other than I find it being a little bit cramped in here, the only other real kind of downfall with this vehicle is the fuel mileage. This engine's been around forever. It's the 4-liter V6. It's got decent power, but it doesn't get all that great of fuel economy. I will reset it on our way down. We have a pretty good trip down there to Tuscany, Toyota, where we're heading. So that will give you a little bit of a hint to what this is replacing, or what will be replacing this. But I'm not going to show that in this video. You have to wait for the next video, and then I'll go over why we chose the vehicle that we chose and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna miss this for sure. My wife's gonna miss it, but she'll like what is replacing this, that's for sure. One big thing that the next vehicle has that this one doesn't have, and I just don't understand why they didn't have it in these trucks, is the heated steering wheel. So it doesn't have a heated steering wheel. It's got heated seats, no ventilated seats, but it's got no heated steering wheel. So you get in this thing in the wintertime when it's cold, and the steering wheel's like a block of ice. And I mean, this is not a cheap vehicle by any means. The new ones are like 60 grand for a new 4Runner. But it's sort of a sad day, that's for sure. It all sort of happened really quick, so it's just like pulling a band-aid off really hard. Driving for a pretty good distance now. We're probably 15-20 minutes away from Yarmouth, and we are averaging right now 12.4 liters per 100. That's the best it's been this route. It was in the 14s and 13s the whole time. We're in a really long section of basically flat ground here right now, and it's doing better. I don't know which way the wind is coming from or any of that stuff. The wind is strong, that's for sure. 12.4 liters per 100. So that is, you know, a bit of the downfall with this thing. SUVs, depending on what size it is and what SUV you have, typically quite a bit easier on fuel than what this is. This isn't terrible. Like, people don't buy, you know, 4Runners and FJs and all that sort of stuff to get good fuel mileage. You buy it for its capability and its reliability. So for us, you know, we knew that obviously, but if I'm gonna get that bad of fuel mileage, then, you know, I might as well get something I can do maybe a little bit more with. But, you know, as far as the crawl control stuff goes, the locking rear diff, the A-track, all that, I think I may have used the locking rear diff once, but I never used the crawl control, you know, whatever, everything. I've never really bothered with that. The rear sliding window is awesome. One of the coolest things about Toyota vehicles is that they have that. It's great for the dogs. The sunroof, you know, is nice to have. And as far as power, like, okay, so let's say right now I want to get out and pass somebody. Like, it kicks down. Once it drops down a gear, it picks up pretty good. I don't really have an issue or no complaints at all really with power. It does its thing. It does what it's supposed to. And again, same thing as the fuel mileage. You don't buy a 4Runner expecting to go, you know, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. It's just not gonna happen. But it's so comfortable, like so comfortable. Definitely gonna miss how soft the suspension is on this thing. Just drives along the highway so nice. It is really windy right now, and this thing is sort of high sides and boxy. So I am getting blown around a little bit, but not too bad. But as far as the seats go, so comfortable. Seating position, steering wheel, everything. I like the gauge layout. It's basic, but like, I like that. Everything is really good in this vehicle, and I mean, everyone knows that. The resale value on these things is phenomenal. That's another big reason why we bought the 2 of these, and, you know, Toyotas in general. But it's gonna be missed. It's definitely gonna be missed. You know, once the excitement of the new vehicle wears off, maybe potentially we'll regret this. You know, who knows? Who knows? When they come up with the new one, who knows? Maybe we'll get one of those. I mean, it's just, there's lots of scenarios, that's for sure. Nothing really left to say, to be honest. It's gonna be different pulling this into the lot and pulling away and not having a 4Runner sitting in our driveway, because like I said, for the last 4 or 5 years we've had a 4Runner in our driveway the whole time. It's been the staple as far as vehicles goes. I've swapped out vehicles a few times, but we've had a 4Runner in our driveway now for quite a while. All right, well, we're getting close. Getting ready to pull in.